start doing here in a moment. Oh, you can see again, I'd rather have cover on my left side. Right now I have to expose my entire mech to get shots. So let's go ahead and reposition here. Let's hope this guy isn't blocking too much. Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here, back with another Mechwarrior Online trial mech series review. What we're doing is we're focusing on the trial mechs that are available for newer players, and we're seeing, are they good? Should you use them? And if you are going to use them, the best way to use them. Now, the Highlander is an iconic mech, especially for the Northwind Highlanders. For those that don't know, it's got a Scottish background, if you will. And of course, there's a lot of history in the Battletech lore. But as far as MWO is concerned, this is actually a mech that was, or at least used to be, quite capable. Nowadays, not so much. It's got some benefits of being very tanky, but some drawbacks of being slow. And of course, because of that slowness, very vulnerable to be caught out in the open. Now, this particular one is the Highlander 733C. Sorry about that. And it's got 2 UAC 5s with 2 large poles. Now, the cool thing about this setup with the trial mech is it is a standard engine, which means you can dead side it. Now, you're going to hear this term used a few times. And what that means is you want to punch with the right. Just think about throwing a jab, right? But then you're going to shield with the left, right? You're going to punch and then shield. And we're going to try to showcase that with this particular build. Now, in the mech lab, of course, we've got 2 UACs, plenty of ammo. We've got a standard 325 with double heat sinks, and of course, Pharaoh, double, and Indo across the board. Really don't have to focus on this. And what I do want to show you is the strengths and weaknesses of this chassis. So let's go talk about the optimal range here. UAC 5s are 600 meters. For the large pulse, we have 365. So not quite half the distance, but it's good enough, and we'll make it work. Now, one glaring issue with the Highlander is the vulnerability to being shot in the face. So just keep that in mind. This mech is not as good if you do go up against it. That is a glaring weakness. Just aim for this area. But also too, if you lose your right torso, you lose everything. So again, just for a newer player, this is one of those mechs that is available to you as a trial mech. We're going to go ahead and highlight the pros and cons, and is this the right mech for you to use? The good thing is this is a IS assault mech, and so it'll give you a pretty good idea as far as speed wise. Most of the assaults are around the 50 to 60 kph anyway, and this will give you just that. And of course, we are not using any consumables, we're not using any skills. So let's go dive in here and showcase the Highlander in its natural environment. All right, here we go. Mining Collective, we have assault. First thing I'm going to do is put my weapon groups in weapon groups 1 and 2. I'm going to put the large pulse on my left mouse button, and then the UACs on my right mouse button. And I think for at least me, this helps me because I know my left mouse button is my torso, right? And the arm, where again this circle reticle here, is my UAC. So again, your torso will catch up to a limit, but it can't go past that limit. Same thing with pitch down, pitch up, stuff like that. So just sort of keep that in mind. We're gonna go as fast as we can here. Looks like our Warhammer 2C isn't paying attention. Those PPCs will hurt if they hit me. Let's see what we got going on here. This is actually not the best spawn for us. Generally speaking, Delta 5 line, but looks like they may be holding Echo 5, which might work out for us. We do have a UAV up there. UAVs can be taken down at range. There we go. Someone just did it. All right, looks like we're holding Echo 5. That's actually not a bad strat, and you may see this sometimes out there. It doesn't always happen. Not everybody rotates. But one of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to ridge. And what ridging is coming to the top of a hill and you being basically the only target a lot of people can shoot at. You're ridging. You're giving all of those enemies a one target, silhouetted target. That's what we want them to do. We want them to be stupid. We want them to make mistakes. And again, remember how I said we're left side here. So oh, that guy's pretty far off. All right, I'm going to split off here. I may try to go over here. It looks like the fight may be shifting to F4. We've got a Stormcrow over here. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to read, but We have an assault. We do have a jump jet. We're going to try to help out as we can. It looks like they've got others here as well. Don't back up. Come on. Nope. All right. Now, UACs, they will jam. So what I'm going to try not to do is double tap. Right now, all I'm going to do is just hold down the trigger. Right? I'm not shooting inside that cooldown. And that way, I don't enact any type of cooldown or, in this case, jam penalty. Right? And when I do want to do that, and again, I try to fire there. And of course, you see the one drawback to UACs. Oh, wow. All right, we're gonna go ahead and fire here. You can see a little bit hot. We don't have the bonuses here. This isn't the optimal setup because we're not in a left side heavy situation. So we're just gonna try to do our best here. We need backup from our friendlies over in Echo 4. If they push, we'll be in trouble, which I think they may start doing here in a moment. Ah, you can see again, I'd rather have cover on my left side. Right now I have to expose my entire mech to get shots. So let's go ahead and reposition here. Let's hope this guy isn't blocking too much. And we can go ahead and reposition here.
Acquired.
Let's see if anybody comes. This is not, again, not ideal. That's why I was hoping we'd push through or hold this center. Yeah, you can see they're being, if we're aggressive right here, I feel like we can win the fight. It's just if we'll be aggressive enough. And there's their assaults. I'm gonna go a torso twist away. There's a bushwhacker. That's super annoying. Torso twist away. You can see that. And the drawback, some of the drawbacks to this mech, especially in certain circumstances where you can't provide, you know. All right, he's coming out here, torso twist. Okay, he's still out in the open. Looks like he's down, or he's about to be down.
Target spotted.
All right, he's pressing towards me. That's good. Wow, we just got caught there. I'm gonna switch, get him pinned in here, and there's nothing I can do. That's unfortunate. But like I said, I'm gonna showcase this build, even with my experience. There's really not, that's one of the drawbacks of having a setup like that. I guess I could have pulled back, repositioned here. Looks like we're winning the fight, but ideally you can see the issues with something like a right side setup. This is a left-sided fight. If I was in this guy's location on the right side of a container, that works great. But the fight's always not going to work out in your favor. So just sort of keep that in mind. Let's go to hop into another match and, again, showcase what this build is capable and what's not capable of. But one thing to note as well, you notice there's a few times I went to shoot my UACs and I was hitting terrain, or I was hitting objects outside of my vision. And that's another drawback of low slung hardpoints and hardpoints being too wide. Of course, in this case, on the torso, it's on the arms. But it looks like we are going to win. So we'll let this play out. But let's go and check out another match. Here we go on Frozen City, and of course, this is the new one. This will give us a little bit, I think, maneuverability here. And I think on that last mission, you know, again, going to the left side, you saw the side effects. If you have a left-sided battle, you can't really contribute. And to contribute, you have to let the fight come to you, or you have to maneuver around. But of course, that's matches, right? You can't always dictate the, you know, where they're going to happen. But that's one of the drawbacks, especially when you compare this build to, let's just say, the, Mad Cat Mark II, where it's got UAC 10s and 5s, high mounted. You don't have to worry about this low slung, right, side. It's not as, obviously, it's a lot faster, stuff like that. You start to notice the nuances here. Take a few pop shots there. It looks like I am the front lead assault mech. We do have something going on right here. I'm going to try to cut it off. Let's see what we got here. All right, so it's probably an XL, maybe a trial. I'm going to go and maneuver around here just a bit. All right. I think that, yeah, that's a trial mech. All right, and we're going to be focused on that mech. He's doing a good job as far as maneuvering, but not the best. You can see this is actually a lot hotter than the Warhawk that we played with trial mechs, and it is a little bit harder to aim with the UACs, especially if they're going to jam. And unfortunately, it's a blessing and a curse, right? We just jammed on that one. How does jamming work, and why does that matter? Well, jamming will occur whenever you're trying to fire and the UAC is cooling down, right? So you're firing before the cooldown happens. So you're firing twice in that. We're missing that. And we just jammed again. And you can see, unfortunately, you know, especially when it's your main armament, you know, that's a negative. And with no skills, you can't improve that with trial mechs. Unfortunately, trial mechs don't come skilled. I wish they would. I think that was a huge missed opportunity as well. I think it sets players up for, you know, a little bit of failure, expectations, stuff like that. All right, so Echo on that Centurion, we just hurt him on the arm. So that's what we're gonna focus on here. I'm gonna try to take that torso off. It looks like he was running an XL. We're gonna be aggressive here. This is where we want to be. This is a right-sided battle, so we're gonna be aggressive here. And I'm gonna snap my torso to my reticle. And we got him. And you do that depending on your... Oh, so we got a fight here. Oh, friendly just ran in front of me. Again, double tap a few times here. Get some damage out. I get some friendly to go for a back shot here. He's one touch from being dead, but we're about to plow through the CT. So it doesn't really matter here. Looks like our forces are split here. Again, this does run hotter. It's a little bit harder to work with. You have to have the right, I guess, circumstances to be a little bit more effective. This right-sided battle is good for us. This means we can shield with our left. And let's go ahead and just press here. We got a blood asp here. He's the LB10 setup, or LB20 setup. His torso is going to be weak, so that's what we're going to focus on. Once you have a lot of these assault mechs, they just go down so quickly. Let's just be aggressive here.
Destroyed.
Already 4-1. There was something else right there, ECM. Another problem too with some of these trial mechs is they have ECM, but because they don't have the skills, the ECM doesn't really give you any bonus. And what that means is the ability to lock on to your mech with ECM is not reduced because you don't have any of the skills to make ECM more effective. So again, it's one of those where it looks good on paper, but without skills, you're at a disadvantage here. And we're gonna take some shots here. Again, we have a little bit of range. We just jammed on both of our UACs, so there is that. We got one back up. Okay, we got a... We're still very much in this fight. They still have quite a bit of firepower out there. Here's a Corsair. We're gonna focus on that right torso. Just need to pay attention to others around here as well.
Heat level critical.
And you can see the heat here from some of these shots. And got a little bit of latency issues. I do have override on, so there is that. Also, I tend to split that third weapon group for my large pulse. That way I can chain fire them. It looks like this guy's about to go down. Yep, he's down. I'm gonna hold up here. He's down.
Ultra autocannon ammo at
Gotta be really careful. Piranha is about.
Heat level critical.
Low slung arm too. And again, I'm gonna hold here. Let's see if this, they may just hold where they are. Again, sort of let the fight come to them. So even at that range, you can see that the rounds, because of convergence of your arm being down here, is striking instead of it just being directly at. And again, that's one of the downsides of this particular setup, right? Is you have low mounted hard points on that right arm. And this is also why this build just isn't as effective at longer ranges, and especially if you have any type of geometry, terrain, anything like that in your way.
Target destroyed. New target
go and help
acquired.
out here. Again, harder targets to hit with UAC 5s here. We're going to try to cut him off, go for maybe a leg shot.
Target destroyed.
Or in that case, he is dead. I think we have one more out there. Don't know where he's at, but so is this a mech that is good for a new player? Unfortunately, I would say no. I think at one point in time in the game, possibly yes. But again, it's one of those things where the negatives, I think, outweigh the positives. Now, this is a good mech to learn how to use UACs, right? You will jam. If you notice here, if I just hold it down, you won't jam, right? If I just hold down the button and I don't worry about anything else, I'm not going to jam. The problem here is, if you notice that cooldown bar, as soon as I go to fire again, well, there you go. We just jammed. So it's not a reliable source of DPS. Now, do they have more DPS than the standard AC5? Yes, they do. But you only have 2 of them. And when that's literally, I would say probably 65% of your firepower, if one of them goes out, that's a problem. The large pulse aren't bad, but IS large pulse and large pulse in general just isn't as good as they used to be. And of course, this mech is slow. Not as slow as maybe the Direwell or the Annihilator or Fafnir, but those mechs are rocking a lot more firepower. And assaults in general need about, I would say, long to mid-range firepower, right? And that allows them to engage at range and be able to close with. And it looks like, again, we have a mech that's, it's probably going to be over here if this guy's even here. So is this a trial mech I'd recommend for you as a new player? Again, I would say no. I think the Warhawk is a better mech. I think the Highlander here has too many things going against it. Now, you can set these up, I think, to be a little bit better, but this particular trial mech I don't think is a win. It is also hot. You noticed how many times I was getting very close to the shutdown. So we didn't take any internal damage from it, but I could definitely see myself pushing over that. But also, how many times my UAC 5 jammed, you know, having an engagement that happens. How many times are you going to have the perfect, you know, engagement where you have a right-sided engagement? Well, sometimes maybe in the NASCAR, stuff like that. Gulf 7, where the heck is that? All the way over there. You just can't dictate that always. And that's what's unfortunate with this. So anyways, it's definitely a mech that you can try out. If
Target acquired.
Oh, it's a flea. Oh man, this is going to be painful. That guy's just gonna run around. Welcome to skirmish with no objectives and no way to force the fight. 5, almost 6 minutes. Oh, game modes, how fun are you? This will just give us time to sort of talk. Yeah, other drawbacks too, if you know what you're doing, you can headshot Highlanders actually pretty easily, and that's obviously a big drawback. That guy just hit and then ran off. I bet you he's smart. He's going to double back, and he's going to be coming this way. So I'm going to hop back in. I didn't see him cross there. That doesn't mean he didn't, but if he's toying with people, he's probably going to be over here. And totally evading all of our friendlies over there. It did have stealth. It's a flea potentially as well, I think. Maybe. We were able to lock onto. I don't know. So we'll have to see. I don't remember which one it was. All right. So again, comparing this Warhawk to or the Highlander to the Warhawk, I think you're better off with the Warhawk. There's drawbacks to the Warhawk as well, but I think overall for a newer player, it's easier, right? You don't have to manage heat as well. You know, oh, there it is, fleet 20. Wow, he did go over there. Okay, I was wrong. The speed of the Warhawk is faster. I think the Warhawk, you know, as far as size, it's comparable, right? So there is that. Let's see if this guy is killed. And of course, the Warhawk has the benefit of clan weapons, right? You have better range, Gauss rifle, ER mediums, those large pulse. Oh man, this guy's just getting kills left and right. Oh man, 64 on a Stalker, Phoenix Hawk. This is just painful. 4 minutes to go. Let's see if he pops up again. I don't think he will, but you never know. Taunting people. This does have one jump jet. Sort of keep that in mind. You don't have that much thrust or verticality, but you do have a little bit. I don't think this guy's going to be coming our way. And should see him if he does. But that's the drawback of skirmish, so we're just gonna just sort of pay attention here best we can. See if anybody goes in there. Got a direwolf over here, stormcrow, phoenix, hawk. I don't think they're anywhere near where this locust is. Big dead giveaway if a locust coming behind you, of course, is ECM. And well, again, us going down there all the way over here just to run around, I'm just not going to do that. This mech is way too slow. And that's also another drawback. Again, highest assault, we had 325, I believe. Again, 58 kph, I think, without speed tweak for skills. And no skills, right? So you're not getting the fastest cooldown on the weapons. You're not getting all the other bonuses. Let's just keep an eye out here. You can't even get radar deprivation and how important that is. So I think there's just too many negatives for me to recommend this, but you may like it. Again, large pulse, not bad, especially the cooldown. Could be better if you had the skills and if you own the mech. But in general here, not the most effective anymore, right? Especially with how things have evolved in the game. Like we got 2 minutes left. Mechs are just faster, more agile. What I'm trying to do is just watch my ass here. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get shot in the butt. All right, minute and 40. Are we gonna see this guy? Is he gonna actually come out? All right, let's move over here. Let's see if maybe I'm out to play. I know his torso's, his left-right torso is red. Still in armor though. He has the advantage of ECM, small profile, fast. All right, going 100 plus kph. Me, not so much. He was rocking the medium setup, so don't see him poking out. You've got all the jitteriness of the terrain. Sometimes the LODs pop in, so you get movement, but it's just buildings. It's not the mech. Oh, this is so fun. No mechanic to force the fight. And a light mech literally running off, killing stragglers. I just saw lasers. What's that behind us? I felt like that was behind us. I felt like that was over here. Again, I don't have radar depth. It could have also been down there. He could have been firing. Unfortunate thing is, I don't have radar deprivation, so I don't know if I was locked on to. He could be locking on, just playing games, and knows exactly where I am. He is. That Phoenix Hawk did take damage, though. So I don't know if that was down there. There we go. So,
good job, soldiers.
Let's go to hop in the mech lab, have a few words. So as I stated in the last match, is the Highlander a good mech? It used to be. The weapons, its maneuverability, the heat issues, and again, with you being a new player, not having the skill tree or any skills in this, it's gonna run hotter. I know what it's like. Sometimes you're gonna panic fire, you're gonna shut down, or you're not gonna have override, or you're gonna take internal damage. The jamming mechanic is super frustrating. Again, it's not a reliable weapon system. So from my standpoint, I do not recommend using this. Now, if you get a little bit of experience under your belt, hop into it, sure. But what's really tough is you have a 90-ton mech that basically is outgunned by a bushwhacker, and it's one of those things where, yes, maybe not strict just firepower wise, but speed and maneuverability wise, you're going to get torn apart. And all they have to do is they have to go for this right torso right here, and you are game over. Not to mention that, again, having that low slung hard point doesn't seem like a lot until you realize it's waist high. You go to take a shot, you're hitting a building, maybe a berm or something like that. So this is going to be a no-go on that, and I just wanted to showcase the match. No editing, nothing crazy. I wanted to show you what its performance was like in a match, good or bad. for this series. So again, guys, if you are new and you enjoy this video, make sure to comment what mech you'd like to see next. I saw some people asking for the Phoenix Hawk, so I think I'm going to try that. And I've got some interesting words on the trial Phoenix Hawk because I have a lot of experience with that. If you'd enjoy this content, make sure to click that subscribe button and bell notification if you haven't done so already. If you want to catch all of this stuff live, I stream Monday through Friday at twitch.tv/NGNGTV. I'll have a link for all this down below, as well as our Discord where you should join. By the way, when you do join on our Discord, make sure to read the Welcome Read First channel. You assign your own rules, just click on the little heart and boom, you're good. But if you don't do that, you can't see anything and you can't, it's to keep bots. So just, that's what it's for. But anyways, if you guys want to support me further, I've got a Patreon page. Check it out. Also, check out the merch page. We have merchandise, ships international, and the prices are pretty solid and materials are pretty awesome. So check that out. But this is it for another trial mech series. I will be checking out the Phoenix Hawk next. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. And hopefully you found this information educational and informative, especially as new players coming in here, or maybe you've played for a bit and you just were interested in the mech itself. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.